Ramadan Mubarak, and welcome to Ramadan Reminders. I'm Yusuf Estes, and really excited about getting started with Ramadan, as I'm sure you are as well. One of the things when we talk about Ramadan starting up, this is something we don't do every day, of course. This is something once a year it comes. We're all excited, and so many things we want to prepare, so many things we want to achieve, the goals that we've set out for ourselves. But what kind of organizational skills do we have to get ready for this? Have we really thought about what we're getting into, and have we thought about a way to see it through to the end? What I'd propose is that we work together. You come and visit here on the show every day, and also use our website called RamadanReminders.com. And then together, you and I will work toward accomplishing the goals that we have set out so that we can help each other through these reminders to be able to achieve all the things we would like to do. Let's take, for example, something very important. If you're considering going to Medina and Mecca during Ramadan, it's time to plan this actually a long time before now. But it's not too late. So maybe, just maybe, you could call your travel agency or get online and find out what it's going to take to get the opportunity to go. You'll need the visa. You're going to need the accommodations, flight over there. You'll have to talk to a travel agency and get that set up. Be sure, that each time you want to do Umrah or Hajj, that you, as far in advance as possible, that you let the travel agencies know and let the governments know and so on, so you can get your visas, paperwork in order, so you're not detained and held up and dragging back time when you could spend it in worship. So I'll remind you about that. So if you're planning on doing the Umrah in Ramadan, it's time to let somebody else know besides you in Allah. It's time to pick up the phone if you haven't done it already. Or maybe you're already planning, but you just didn't realize how important this is. Get on the phone and check it out, see what you can do to speed things along. Because before you know it, it's going to be that time. And by the way, anytime you would like to do Umrah in Ramadan, this is sufficient to be considered a part of the Hadith, which is very famous. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, told us that whoever does Umrah, which is the lesser pilgrimage, whoever does the Umrah in the month of Ramadan, it's as though they made Hajj with me. This is more or less the translation. It's as though they made Hajj with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessing be upon him. So obviously, you and I would like to get that kind of reward. I've only got to do it so far one time, and I'm hoping, that things will work out to keep on doing this. But I want to encourage you to encourage others. If you're not able to do it, maybe you can help other people get to do this. It's a very wonderful thing to get to do the Umrah in Ramadan, so you get the reward of having Hajj with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Okay, enough on that. Now let's talk about what's an alternative. I can't go, I can't get the visas, I don't have the money, so on, so on, so. What are some of the other things that I could do? Well, we're going to be talking about this later in the month, but don't forget you can do itikaf. And the itikaf, meaning sticking to the masjid, staying in the masjid, the last 10 days, if you can, is great. Even the night of power is fantastic, or even just for a few hours. All of that's going to count for you in your favor. But just like doing Umrah in Ramadan, it's preferred to do it in the last 10 days, but it doesn't mean you can't do it at some other time. So if all you can do, let's say, is Tuesday night, in the first part of Ramadan, you would like to do the Umrah or do the itikaf in the masjid, then okay, do what you can do, because this is all optional anyway. You don't have to do it, but it's highly stressed to increase your ibadah, your worship, as much as you can during this month, because it counts for so much more. Whatever you would have done any other time of the year, it'll count so much more to do your worship now, inshallah, God willing. So let's encourage each other and remind each other of the importance of doing more and more of our ibadah. Along the way, we want to remind each other, too, of how we treat others, because, after all, as the Prophet, peace be upon him, told us, that for the one who is like standing in the night, praying all night, and fasting all day long, but if it doesn't help his relationship with the people, then what's going to be the benefit of it? So if you can't control your tongue and your temper, and you can't control your behavior with the people, then what is the benefit of all this worship? Because all you're doing is going hungry and getting tired from standing up. And that's basically the way he said it. I'm giving you the meaning behind it. He even told us that a woman would go to hell for what? She had a cat that she didn't feed. She didn't allow it to get any kind of nourishment. She didn't allow it to go out and seek anything. She let it starve in front of her own eyes. She had no compassion for this poor little kitten and watched it die. In the meantime, though, she's fasting, she's praying, and to you and I, we would say, oh, this lady, she's got so much ibadah, so much worship with Allah. But Allah doesn't need that. And when this poor little animal is laying there begging for some food, anything, just let it go and it will go find its own food. And a person can't do that, won't do that, then what's going to happen? So this is very serious with us, is to remember that when we're fasting, we're praying and everything, it should also change how we are with each other. There should be more love in our hearts. There should be more patience in our minds. And we should be able to look beyond some of the shortcomings of other people. Everybody's a human. Everybody makes mistakes. Some make bigger mistakes than others. But the good news is, as long as a human being is alive, there's always a chance for them to come back to the right way. And Ramadan is one of the best of all of the times for non-Muslims and Muslims alike to get to Islam the right way, correct a lot of mistakes, and be forgiven and change their whole lives. I've found in the month of Ramadan, it's one of the best times to give the dawah to the non-Muslims, to go to them and tell them about La ilaha illallah. I've found that this is the best time for me to get out there and share that message with the people. I found that so many more people come to our websites during this time than any other time. And it's also a good time for you and I to share the message so that the people will say, why are these guys fasting? Why are they standing up in the night? Why are they listening to the Quran? Why? I want them to ask why. Because the more they ask, then the more they come and they find out, this guy's doing this because he believes there's only one God? Wait a minute, but that's what I believe. And this guy's doing all of this because something of Abraham or something of Ismail or something of Jesus or Moses, and they start hearing about the prophets of old. They say, well, wait a minute, I believe in those prophets. I heard about them in the Sunday school lessons, or I heard about them in the Bible. And then if they start to hear about who is Muhammad, what's that all about? And they find that he's actually related to these same prophets. And that he's bringing the continuation of the message that started. All of these things help them to get the idea that, hey, you know what? This is a pretty good deal. Let me investigate it. Maybe you could get them to come over and join you for iftar. When you break the fast, and have them come and sit with you and eat with you. Let them eat the dates. Maybe even give them some Zamzam water. Who knows? Allah might guide them. These are some of the things to do for us to get ready for Ramadan, to get it started off. But the main thing above all is to remember that you're doing this for Allah, for no other reason than to please Allah. This means it has to be according to what's in Quran and Sunnah about it, and not to introduce something that doesn't belong there. For instance, getting other people to fast that are not even Muslims, that's really not what I meant by having them come and join us. Let them eat with us, but let's not ask them to do ibadah or worship with us, because they're not ready for that. And we'll be talking about these things in more of our programs. But for right now, here's the reminder for you. Use the website, Ramadan Reminders. Until tomorrow, Assalamu alaikum. See you then. Inshallah.